Hey everybody, Christy Allen here. So I am at my park. It's my park now. I am claiming this is my park now. So this is where I have started coaching myself, I guess is the way I would put it. I am here doing my homework, and I already finished. And what I mean by homework is when I was going through the PTSD program in Emory, one of the things that we did for we would call it homework, is we would actually provoke anxiety or things that we would normally avoid, so that we would get our systems worked up. And what I mean by systems is, the cognitive thought process of feeling like there's something that's putting you in danger, or feeling like there's just something that's not safe about your environment. We would purposely go into situations like this so that we could test our boundaries, and we could start building up our resiliency again for those boundaries. And for me, it was a little bit tricky trying to figure out how I could work up my anxiety, because for me, anxiety, it's unassociated with any one particular thing. And that's what's so disturbing about it, is that it just pops up out of nowhere when I could be perfectly fine, and then I just see something or feel or sense something that just gives me that same tension, and my mind just starts going into another direction. So one thing that I have found out yesterday was running will definitely hit those triggers for me. And as uncomfortable as it is to go through those triggers, it also is necessary. It's a lot like when you're working out and you go through a workout, you constantly want to vary your types of exercises that you're doing, so that you're not fatiguing one body part, you're not fatiguing one muscle group, because when you do that, then your muscle group becomes ineffective. And what I'm discovering is that's how it is a lot with our spirit, our soul. A lot of things that I'm learning, and even like feedback that I'm getting from people, is, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Well, guess what? When you're constantly pushing, you're fatiguing a part of your soul. You're fatiguing a part of your spirit. And so now you have to put balance into that. And by doing that, it means you need to find things that are pulling you forward, attracting you, vice always having to push on yourself. So there's a balance between finding things that will pull you forward, your spirit forward, and there's times when it is applicable for you to have the intestinal fortitude and push forward. But if you're constantly pushing and pushing yourself forward, at some point you're going to become fatigued. And that's what I've experienced in my life, is I've always pushed myself. I've always mentally challenged myself. I've always mentally told myself only I can take care of me, and only I can make the things happen for me. And so I never really learned that I need to have something in front of me to be pulling me towards it. And the goals that I was setting when I was in the military were still career orientated. So yes, they were goals, and they were pulling me towards something, but it was pulling me towards somebody else's goals, really. It wasn't pulling me towards my goals and my soul goals. I guess I should put it that way. My soul goals. I wasn't being projected towards anything like that. And so, so now I'm at that space where I'm learning. I have to learn how to find things that are pulling me forward, in balance with being able to still use that intestinal fortitude to push myself forward. And I just thought it was interesting, because one of the thoughts that popped in my head today while I was out here running was, I had an experience once where I was in a course, and my instructor that was in the course was telling me, like I was struggling with this hill that I had to run up, and he was running with me, and he was telling me, he's like, think about your kids right now. Think about what your kids would be thinking, how proud they would be that you're pushing forward and that you're pushing and you're capable of doing this. And that was awesome motivation at the time. But that's one of those things where it constantly got in my head that I had to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until the point where I didn't have the capability to push anymore. But I also started thinking about, how do we coach our kids? Like, I know there's a lot of people that are on here that have coached youth some kind of sport, football, soccer, baseball, something. But how do you coach a child? Do you push them past their capabilities? Do you push them past their limits? How do you push them? It's usually with encouragement. It's usually by saying, you've got this, keep going, you've got it. And you're pointing out things that they're doing that they weren't aware that they were doing. And so now they're looking at something of, oh, I have this power. But why is it when we become adults, we can't use that same type of compassion with coaching others? Why is it always got to be so intense? Why is it always got to be so dramatic? Why is there got to be an expectation that's higher than what we would set for our children? Why do we internally expect ourselves to do more than what we would expect from our children? And so I kind of have started developing this mentality of coaching myself like I would if I was coaching my kids. How would I coach them? How would I talk to them? How would I encourage them? And start using that self-talk for myself. And, if you're watching this and you're curious, and want to have a little bit more one-on-one, I have no problem. I have time freedom now, and time freedom isn't just a matter of doing what I want to do, but being able to take the time to do what I want to do. Like, I've been out here for about 2 hours working on myself. Like, when have I ever in my life had 2 hours to work on myself? Like, when I was a kid, I had 2 hours to play. I didn't really think that I was working on myself, but if I really think about it, yeah, I was working on myself. Hey, Michael, how you doing? So, a lot of what I'm experiencing with my life, it involves having that ability to have the time. And I think that's another piece, is like, we get so caught up with having so many things to do in our life that we don't have the time to do the things that we enjoy. And so when we do get the time, it's still a crunch period. And I think we need to do better as a society about that. I think we need to be able to give ourselves more time to do the things that we love and enjoy. Because when you're doing the things that you love and enjoy, I know this is cliche, you do the things that you love and enjoy, everything is less of a challenge. That is your pulling force. That is pulling you towards something. That means less, trying to talk yourself out of getting out of bed every morning because, you got to push yourself to go out there and do it. That is your pulling attraction. So finding more time to do the things that you love and enjoy, finding things that match what you love and enjoy, and being able to make a living with that is the magic key right there, in my opinion. But that's just the world according to me. That's just world according to Christy. But, so drop your opinions in there as far as what you think is some key elements to living a fulfilled life. All right, I will see you all later. Take care. Bye, Michael. Bye, Jimmy.